Boadu, CEO of Spearhead Consult and also a life coach, and he joins us in our love series right here on the iMDrive today. I'm going to be touching on what we call climate for love, and I think the first question I want to ask him: what exactly is we're talking about climate for love? What exactly is this climate we're talking about?
Thank you and good morning.
Sophie, you're welcome. Please turn on your button. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. You can join.
All right. Thank you and good morning to all our listeners. When we say climate for love, when we say climate in general, we are talking about a state where someone feels safe. The human brain is designed primarily for survival. Everything we do, every decision we've ever taken, it's about how do I survive. If I put $10 million here and I hold your nose and your mouth and prevent you from breathing, you will tell me to take the money, but you want your breath.
Definitely.
That is how our brain has been designed. So anytime you want to create a climate for love to thrive, it has to be in an environment of safety.
Okay.
When you feel safe, we call it, you go into what we call socially engagement state. The first thing you want to do is to connect with people, connect with a loved person, call the person, get in touch with the person because you feel safe. Why would you sleep on the same bed with me? It's when you feel safe with me.
Yes.
Why would you stay in the same house with me? It's when you feel safe with me. Why would I eat your food? It's when I feel safe with you.
Yeah.
So when we want to define climate that helps love to thrive, we must look at it in the context of safety.
All right.
Now, the moment that is missing, people drop into what we call active defense mode. Now, this is when we are in what we call mobilization. We are ready to fight. When you shout, I will shout. When you insult, I will insult. When you yell, I will yell. When you are unfaithful, I will be unfaithful. That is another state which doesn't augur well and help the love to thrive or relationship to thrive. That when people are in that state, the mobilized state, and they continue fighting, they continue hitting, they continue yelling, and one of them or maybe both of them come to the place to realize that, look, I've been fighting this person, I've been fighting the system, I've been yelling, I've been insulting, I've been disrespecting the person, I've been running the person down, and I am not winning. I am not getting the result. The other thing people would like to do is to drop to the third state. And the third state is what we call immobilization. And that is what the technical name is dorsal vagal. Now, in that state, we become like the tortoise. We shut down. We are not interested. We are disengaged. And that is why you go to some offices. People have stopped talking. People have stopped contributing. In some homes, women have stopped talking. Men have stopped talking. Because in their mind, there's no point. It is of no use fighting. It's of no use engaging. It's of no use discussing anything. Because we have tried it over the period of time and nothing is happening. Now, the last two states is not a place that helps love to grow. It's the first state, the socially engagement state, is when what helps love to grow, helps relationship to be built, helps relationship to grow. So if you want to build relationship, if you want love to grow, the first thing you do is ask yourself the question, am I creating the right climate? Does the person feel safe with me? When the person is not with me, do I call to check up on him? Those little things, it makes people feel safe. You've gone out, you have come home, you've been served your food. Have you wondered whether the person has eaten? You don't check on that. So there are little things we can do that makes people feel safe around us. When you have something to share, do you share with the people in your household or you share with people outside? There are some people, they go to church and they do well in church. Everybody knows they are doing well in church, but their own family are struggling. That is not a safe place for somebody to thrive and to give back. You see, the moment you create that environment, people willingly, they give back. There's no need for us to fight. There's no need for us to put anything in context. Why? Because it's a natural flow. You see, again, when I do something for you, I create an imbalance. If, for instance, I buy you a very good lunch today, I create an imbalance in you. What do you want to do? The next thing you want to do is that, how can I pay? How can I reciprocate? How can I give back to this person? So it is my responsibility to create that environment, and when I do, the person will reciprocate. But usually what we do is that we want the other person to be well, to do well, to give us the right environment for us to thrive. But we will have to start, because the world reflects what you do and who you become.
The world reflects what you do and who you become. So the first stage you said is the socially engagement stage, and
yes.
the second?
It's like immobilization.
Mobilization, and the third?
The third is immobilization, or the technical name is dorsal vagal.
How do we not? How do we sustain staying at the first and not get into? But first, maybe before we even get into that, let's talk about the impact of a negative climate, or yes, on a family, or even at a workplace. Yes, we can get into that even at church.
The first thing you see is distance.
Distance, okay.
The first thing you see is distance, because if I don't feel safe with you, the logical thing for me to do, take the animal kingdom.
Okay.
When a prey sees a predator, what does it do? It avoids it. It runs away. Okay, so you fight or flight. Okay, so the first thing you see, the evidence you see, is that people want to avoid you. And you can be in the same room, but there's a distance. And that is how come sometimes you see people in the same room on the same bed. There's a case I handled. They are on the same bed, but one has an earpiece,
okay.
And that is the kind of lifestyle they have. The man always has an earpiece and is listening to something, and the woman is sitting on the bed. You're the person you're supposed to be with, love and share is on the bed, and you always have an earpiece on your ear. That is distance.
So distance is one of those signs.
One of the key things you see here is distance.
Okay.
The other thing is that the natural support is taken away. Remember, like I said, if you feel safe, you do things naturally for people. But the moment you don't feel safe, whatever you do for the person becomes a chore. It becomes a chore immediately. It becomes a lot of work, because you're supposed to, as it were, put in a lot of energy. But the fuel to do it, because the fuel for to do it has been taken away. But when you are in a social engagement state, you love to do it. You love to cook. You love to share. You love to drive and go and buy the kelewele for the person. You love to do it. You don't see it as work. You see it as part of the engagement. You see it as supporting each other. But the moment you are not in that state, that is where everything you do for the person becomes a chore. And then you feel like, look, I've done this for you, you have to pay me. I've done this for you and you don't appreciate it, and I've done this for you and that. You become legalistic. But the moment you are in you operate in a social engagement state, you flow. You flow. You don't legislate. You naturally flow.
And I want to ask you for those who feel that I am giving and giving and giving, this other person is enjoying, I'm not getting anything back, and they feel I'm getting tired of it. Because from what you're saying, naturally, if I'm giving, the other person should also be in that state of wanting to give back to me, but I don't feel I'm getting that. And how do you deal with a system like that, or a situation like that?
I think let's go back to ourselves. Okay. I always want to start from you, not from the other person. Okay, let's start from you. Are you sure you've done everything you could do?
Okay.
Are you sure you've done the proper reflection? Because if you take every individual, okay, let me put it this way. We all run softwares in our heads.
Yes.
And when I say softwares, I'm talking about a certain conditioning, a certain mapping system. And some of the components of that are, number one, what is important to you, your values. What you believe, what your purpose is, what your language has been. All these things as a way of shaping the way you do your things. the way you reflect towards the other person. So we always tell you that if you want to change the other person, in fact, you can't actually change anybody. You can only change yourself. Okay? Technically, you can't even change behavior. Technically. If you want to change the behavior, you attempt it at the level of filters. Change the filters. Change the conditioning. Change the map that you have about a person, about who a woman is, about who a man is. For all you know, the way you've been brought up is what has conditioned you to think that a woman must be like this. You put that woman in a certain, category or certain box. A woman should do this. So the woman is not doing that, then it's not a good woman. The man should be this. In fact, there's a case I handled where the young lady said that my husband is lazy. I said, why you say your husband is lazy? It says, when I was growing up, anytime my mommy is in the kitchen, my daddy will be there. Oh. Anytime my mommy is washing, my daddy will be there. Okay. So the fact that she is married now and she's in the kitchen and the husband is also doing something else, means that man must be. No, you're using the wrong filter. You're using the wrong operating system. So these are things that we need to look at and change some of the filters we have, so that we will be able to create the kind of condition we want, a condition of respect, a condition of value, so that the other person, the second person who comes into that environment, will also be able to appreciate it.
Let's talk about the filter then.
Yes.
How can we change the filters?
The first thing is that if a filter is not working for you, that is the time for you to change it.
Okay.
If a filter has not been working, you want to buy a white Benz, and for 30 years you've been dreaming of buying a white Benz. Please, the filter you are using will not work. It's time for you to change it.
Okay.
So if there's something, a certain desire, something you have wished, and then you are not getting it over a period of time, it means there's time for you to change it. One of the things you could do is the fact that you need to be brutally honest with yourself. Master, if the thing is not working, it's not working. If you are not doing well, you are not doing well. Tell yourself you're not doing well. Don't garnish it. Don't tell yourself that you are doing well. No, you're not doing well.
People who will
be very honest with yourself. And that is this beginning. That is where you begin to know that, yes, I am not doing well. Now, what do I do? Then you now ask the right question and somebody can help you. Talk to people who can help you. Talk to the right kind of people. You see, your pastor is not necessarily a counselor.
Thank you.
Counseling is a professional something. Your pastor is not necessarily a counselor. Of course, sometimes by the dint of experience and hearing a lot of cases, he has gained some experience and everything. But go to the right source. I don't think that if you have a heart problem, you go to a mechanic.
No.
So please, let us try. And that's one thing we need to do. Get to the right person and get the solution from that right person.
I mean, I've always wondered, maybe you can, from where you sit, you can speak more on that. Why we're not open to seeking professional help in these matters, and like you're saying, we're going elsewhere, and they are not equipped to help us.
It's because of sometimes the interpretation we give to the thing. For instance, sometimes when you say mental health, how would you say it in Twi?
I don't even know how to capture it in Twi.
So it sometimes looks like...
If you can help, if you can capture it in Twi, share with us on WhatsApp. So
you tell somebody to go and see a psychiatrist, he feels that, you think I'm mad.
Because, I told somebody I went to study psychology. I said, I was so sad. I did not study psychology. I was so young, so I did not go in.
And again, another thing that bothers me is that we have spiritualized everything, and we think that everything is a demon. We think that your mother is a demon, your father is a demon, your husband is a demon, everything is a demon. We need to change that narrative. Sometimes it's just common sense. Sometimes it's just that people are just being stupid. We need to change the narrative. It is not everything that can ascribe to a demon attack or whatever. It is just common sense. If you are not brushing your teeth, your mouth will smell.
It will.
So don't go and say, now the demon has made the demon is chasing me. That is the reason why when I get to the ladies run away from me. Simple. Don't deceive yourself. Let's be brutally honest with ourselves and speak true to ourselves. And it bothers me. It's worry And everything has been defined as a demonic, and everything has been defined as this. So I ask myself, sometimes, so a crow comes and sits on somebody's head and we define this as a demon. So I ask myself, didn't God create the crow?
I have a message that says, yes, we can't change anybody. I must change to create what I want. And she comes to say, thank you, Reverend Otieku. We must be real to ourselves. And let's maybe now we can go into how we can further create that encouraging climate, loving climate, positive climate, thriving climate, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it's at church. If you can show us a few steps, a few things we can do.
I think number one, you need to be very honest with yourself and be very vulnerable.
Hey, the vulnerability.
Yes, if I'm coming into the relationship, I come to let you know that look, I am not a Superman. I am a human being. I eat wachi, I eat kiki, I eat this thing. I'm human. I'm not a Superman. We have created Supermen, and that is the reason why some. So I ask people, are you a husband or you are a pastor? The person is not married to a pastor. He's married to a human being. He's married to not a Superman. He's married to an ordinary human being who has feelings.
Okay.
And we need to get that done. You are relating to a human being. You are not relating to an angel. You are not relating to somebody from another place. You are not an alien. You are a human being. You do the things. In the morning you go to the washroom, you do everything. You are human. Accept that you are human and behave like a human being. You know, sometimes we let this whole power thing go into our head, and at the end of the day we leave it. The people don't do that. You are pastor today, and what are you doing at home? Your children cannot come to you. They are afraid of you. And why? Let us be vulnerable. Let us be open to people. And in any case, look, if my vulnerability, you're going to take advantage of my vulnerability, that is your problem.
Because I was going to get to that.
That is your problem.
I've been taking advantage of when I've been vulnerable.
That is your problem. That is your problem. You know, and again, we need to understand that there are three things. There are things that there are things that you can't do anything about. We call it a circle of concern. You can't do anything about it. If they increase fuel prices today, you and me, mortal human beings, we can't do anything about it. Unless maybe you have a special arrangement. Number two, we circle of influence. There are things we cannot do anything about, but we can influence people. We can talk to people to do it. A couple of months ago, I picked the phone in the morning, called my mom. My mom wasn't responding. I said, what is happening? I mean, that is not like her. And a few people tried the same thing. They were giving the same feedback. Now, I have a cousin who is a pastor there. So I called him and said, hey, Charlie, go home right now. Check on the old lady. He rushes home and sees the old lady in a condition and rushes her to the hospital. Now, if I have to travel from here to the old village, it would take me 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Would have lost her.
Yes.
What I could do was to extend my relationship and let my relationship do it for me. That is my circle of influence. And we build that through good relationship. We build that through respecting somebody. But then I have circle of control. That is what I developed through my skill set. So I expand my skill set, I get more control, and I'm able to do things. So if you don't know how to do some things, learn it. If you don't know how to talk to people, please learn it. If you don't know when you are going out and you are coming, you have to buy Chinese for your wife. Learn it. If you are driving with your spouse and you say, I'm going to buy kelewele, please don't buy one, buy two. Even if you say she won't eat, still buy two.
Because sometimes we say we don't want where you go like, oh, but now I feel like eating stuff we have experience.
Because we haven't learned to understand. In fact, we don't take human beings as projects. Every human being must be taken as a project and learn, observe the person. We don't even observe.
So I have a friend who's gone to be with the Lord, Joshua Bafo. Some of you listening may know him. And I was watching one of his videos one time, and he talked about how he had made his wife his project.
It's a project.
That was the first time I had heard somebody describe making their spouse their project, because they know this intentionality accompanied with whatever they're doing.
Because you see, this is the point. You can just observe the person. Now, I can observe you and know what your values are. I'll just observe you and look, when do you get angry? When do you get... The moment I validate your value, you'll be happy. The moment I violate a value, you'll be unhappy. You'll be upset. You probably give me some unprinted words. So I look at I just observing you and look at how you behave in different circumstances. That is my project. And I build a dossier on you. So now The next time you are doing something, I see the trigger, I see, I don't do it again, so that I continue maintaining the kind of climate for peace and love.
Interesting. I'm loving this. And Reverend Rebecca says, yes, we need to update ourselves, learn. And this one says, what is the place of feedback when it comes to creating a climate for love? Good question. Very good one.
Fantastic question. Now, if I am in a safe environment, I'm not afraid of feedback. Once you're in a safe environment, you're not, because you know that the feedback makes you grow. It is said that feedback is the breakfast for champions. So I need feedback. I need feedback to grow. And unfortunately, you see, feedback comes in different ways. It's not everybody who can give you feedback in, oh, my little darling, please next time do it this way. And like an Indian will be shaking the head. No. My darling, no. Some people, the feedback will come harshly. But it's for you to be able to pick the lesson from the feedback. You see, your brain cannot contain two states at the same time.
Okay.
So you either have the emotion there or you have the lesson there. The moment you replace the emotion with the moment the lesson comes in, the emotion dissipates.
Take that again.
The moment that you have, your mind cannot hold two states. It can only hold a state at a time. So for instance, something happens, you are upset, you are angry, maybe somebody gave you feedback, you didn't like the way the person gave you feedback. Fantastic, good. That is an emotion. But the moment I sit down and I ask myself, what was the purpose of what the person told me? What is the lesson?
Yes.
And I'm able to distill the lesson, and then I hold the lesson in my mind. The emotion dissipates. It leaves my mind, and I only have the lesson. In other words, the pain of the delivery will leave, and then I'll maintain the lesson, and I'll become a better person from that time. So subsequently, I'm not going to do that again.
Wow. This is great. This one says, yes, whether negative feedback or positive, we must listen and accept. This one says, hello, Sunny. I just tuned in. Can I get the recording of the discussion or download it on Facebook? So we are live on Facebook, also on YouTube. So you can go in to join this conversation. This one says, Jennifer, well, your question on giving, and giving is spot on. And well, says, okay, I wanted to say a big thank you for yesterday. Made my day, that of my wife. Well, I think everyone was here yesterday. Saw the love messages that were pouring in. And since I also enjoyed contribution from your listeners, is Jennifer, you have to help me this year. I want to make my wife my project.
Excellent.
This is inspiring.
Excellent.
I think someone says mental sickness is Adrimu Yare. I think you weren't asking of mental sickness. It was mental health. Yes. Says JJD, I agree with the Reverend. For instance, you overtake a car at a curve and you get involved in an accident, then you tell me the devil. Where was the common sense? And this is Nana Hesi Ojiri. So we still are looking for the tree term for mental health. So it's not mental sickness. Yeah, even I knew that. It's mental health. That's the one we're looking for. So if you know about it, you can share with us 0540-130-684, 0540-130-684. I see someone is recording an audio. Reverend, is there a few more tips you can share with us, or you'd have exhausted those points there?
I think let's just ask ourselves the question, at the end of the day, the only thing that, if you're not there, the only thing you leave with me is your memory.
Yeah.
Let us learn to create a good memory so that if the person is not there, we don't feel guilty. Let us learn to create a good memory so that when the person is not there, you don't feel guilty. And it's very, very important. So as part of your project, make sure that, so what is it that I need to do to keep that memory burning, to keep that memory alive? Let us do that.
I love this. I have a voice note here. Let me play it.
I dream of home, dear, Anna, lady.
Did you hear? Let me play that for you again. I think she's attempting mental health. I think it's close.
I dream of home, dear, Anna, lady. I dream of home,
Mental health.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. All right. If you have any question, you can send it through 0540-130-684, 0540-130-684. Ebenezer, thank you for this message. I agree with you. Let's take our loved ones as our projects this year. I'm sure we'll love how our relationships will turn out if we are more intentional.
Not only our spouse, but our children.
Yes, relationships across board. Across board.
And people you work in the office.
Okay.
Because you see, we spend more time in the office than we even spend with our spouses and children at home.
Okay.
So create that environment for people to work in. I mean, sometimes I wonder how some bosses will be insulting their, and it baffles me. Let us create a psychological safety net for everyone, and people will do well, people will perform better.
This one says, I am Jasper. My question is, what if you are with someone that is not honest to you and always wants to outsmart you, whereas you are always honest to the person? What will you do in that situation?
Well, over time, it's not going to work. The reason being that in fact, whatever the person is doing is already putting you, removing you from the safe environment into maybe more of a dorsal vagal state. That is where you decide that you're not going to talk about it, what we call inactive, in a place of inactivity. So that may not work over time.
Okay, and let me just check if we have any feedback. Gentlemen, can you check on that for me? And I see there's a typing going on there. This one's, what about temperaments? Can these strategies work for everyone? Temperaments.
You see, where I'm coming from and by my training, temperaments seem to put people in a certain box. This is who I am, and therefore take me like that. But people can change. You can change. You can reflect. You can work on yourself. Okay, so despite the fact that you have a particular temperament, these are tendencies, but you can do something about it. So I asked the question, okay, so it's like you have a particular temperament, maybe you are a quiet type, whatever, and then you don't want to do anything, and then all of a sudden some big contract is coming and you have to be active, be whatever, be forceful, and will you do it? Yes. It means that you had control over the temperament. So I usually don't want to give a lot of credit to that, because I feel that if I want to change, I will be able to work on myself and be able to bring the kind of change I'm looking for.
Interesting. So I could be a sanguine, but maybe the other I'm trying to figure out the other sides of the sanguine that may not seem to work too well for me, I can have some kind of control over them.
The moment you say you can't, then you can't.
Okay.
But the moment you tell yourself you can, and where I'm coming from, as an NLP master practitioner, I don't believe that.
As an
NLP master practitioner, I don't believe that.
NLP is
neuro-linguistic programming.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
I don't believe that. We believe that if you you can't change the other person, but you can work on yourself. And some of the things I've mentioned today is something that can help you to do that.
Okay, so Oman Henetila says, JJD, one thing, let me take it from the top, says, I'm really enjoying the conversation and learning a lot. Trust you're good. One thing these young generation have been using as their defense mechanism is that they don't want to change. They always go like, this is who I am. If you like, take me. If you don't, leave me. Patrick, do you hear this?
Yeah, all the time.
Sometimes.
All the time.
It's a Gen Z thing, eh?
Yeah.
So I think Omahine came back to say the tree name for mental health is Ajimu Apomudin. That's definitely what Reverend Becca was also saying. I think one thing I'm picking up from today is this whole putting myself in the book and say, this is who I am. So, but we can work on
ourselves. We can work on ourselves.
Okay. Another one is, for me, I am plain. Reverend, let's talk about that. So the assertive person.
Yes.
Can you be plain, but be plain in a way that people still feel safe around you? How can we go about it?
Okay, there's something called emotional intelligence, but there's something called cultural intelligence.
Hey, also, let's get into those two.
You see, you can be emotionally intelligent, but culturally insensitive. So yes, we are plain, but in certain contexts, you are not supposed to be. Wisdom demands that you don't talk. Wisdom demands that you apply a different approach. That is what I'm talking about. So the fact that we are plain, you can say anything and goes
anywhere, anytime.
Because see, you want me to delve into something?
Let's go. Let's go in, Patrick.
Neuroscience tells us today that we have 3 brains. Okay, the first brain, your first brain, which is your head brain. The primary objective is to make meaning of the environment. Your second brain, which is the heart brain, is for relationship. The third brain is your gut. Your gut brain is for mobilization and self-preservation. Now, when you say you are plain, it means that you are operating at the level of gut. Gut, we are plain. What can we say now? And it may work sometimes, it may not work sometimes. Okay, and that is the reason why we say bring the 3 together: your head, your heart brain, your gut brain. You bring it together. That is wisdom.
The heart and the gut.
That is wisdom.
Okay.
So, and it actually begins from the heart. Everything you're doing, ask yourself, what is important to me in the situation? What is important to the person in the situation?
Okay.
For instance, I know that you've done something against me, and I want to maybe talk to you about it. I can be in a bedroom with you, and we can speak about it.
Okay.
And that'll be okay. But the moment I stand outside and there are other people there and I say the same thing, the context is different.
Okay.
You will fight back because of the context, because I said it outside with other people. You feel much more embarrassed.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So we are plain dear, but that is not complete wisdom. You need to put it in context. There are times you can be plain, gut will work, but it's not every day that gut works. So we need to be able to apply your head. In fact, you must begin with the heart. Go to your head, come back to the heart, and then go through.
So there's a process.
Yes.
Just
You're asking me to do a whole seminar here now.
I think we're going to get you back for that. So this whole thing where we think something and just open our mouths.
No.
2024, we can't continue that way.
Sometimes say, why did I say that?
Yes.
Why did I say that?
I've had those sometimes.
It's as if you didn't even think.
Yes.
You just responded. That's instinct. And that is the animal part in us.
Okay. Wow. This one says, hello, good morning. I'm Ghost from Isam. Hey, Ghost. Chi Dini is somewhere. So mental health in Akan is a dreamer Pumudi. I'm loving the show. Thanks. It's great to have you joining us from Insawam.
Yeah.
And this one says, you are plain, but be wise.
Yes,
that's exactly what Reverend Patrick Otieku is sharing with us this morning. Reverend, I'll take your final. Okay, this one says, I think we need a lecture on this. So the plain for send me an emoji. We want to register you. This one says, good morning, Reverend. True, we need to be intentional about what we say and do. We miss you, pal, from Type Company Crew.
Oh, yeah.
You have them listening in. This is a good one. This was good morning. I'm well before Sefri and I'm enjoying the conversation. It's really insightful. 0540-130-684. 0540-130-684. If you have a question, maybe there's a contribution. If you want to reach us via phone, maybe we can take maybe just 1 or 2 calls. This one says we have to get to part 2 of this. 0540-130-684. Reverend, 2024. I mean, today I'm learning that when it gets to my head, gets to my heart, I need to go back this whole process back to the head, right? You're saying
it begins from the heart.
From the heart.
The heart must lead.
The heart must lead.
The problem we have in the society is because we have become a head-based society because of our education, the way we've been trained.
Okay.
We train people to use their head, not their heart.
Okay.
And that is the reason why we have a headmaster, head teacher, headquarters, but we don't have a heart master, heart teacher, headquarters. We need to introduce the heart now, and the heart must lead.
The heart must lead. Also, but what about, a few times I hear people say, oh, I'm following my heart, and they are going into this relationship. I must say, how about leading the heart? Or so, what do you have to say about
that? So the heart must lead. It doesn't mean that you only use the heart. Okay, there are people who use only the heart. These are people.
So that's where the person is just using only the heart. Okay, thank you.
So that's why we say that it must be the 3.
Okay.
They are okay. The head is a director. The heart is a discerner. The gut is the processor. They work together.
Okay.
They work together. So if you are one, you won't get the results you're looking for, the best results you're looking for. In some situations, yes, you may get some result, but you don't get the best result, a wise result.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This one says, please, I'll also want to have the contact of the Reverend. His points are really on point. That's well before is a free year. This one says, good morning, Sunny FM. I'm loving the show, rough. God bless you all. Hayford from East Legon Hills. Hayford, it's great to hear from you this morning. I see Reverend Rebecca, she's writing notes. Heart, head, heart, gut.
Yes.
Okay. Reverend, your final words. I'm loving this one. I feel my eyes have been opened this morning. And
my
so,
final words is you have the power to create the environment that will let people within your circle thrive. People within your circle succeed. People within your circle love without pain. You have the power to do that. So let it happen.
I'm loving this morning. Patrick Otieku Boadu. Like Reverend Rebecca said, I see being here, Patrick. So we will definitely be calling on you again.
Anytime.
And for those who want to reach out, is there an email? Is there a contact you'd want to share? Yes.
My telephone number is 020 6500004. 02065000004, and I think that should be okay for now.
Should be able to connect.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and I'm still seeing some messages coming through. Ebenezer says, Jennifer, you have to invite Reverend again on behalf of the listeners. We love him. I'm absolutely loving him as well this morning. In fact, this will be my first time really engaged. Yesterday was with Ariel, but I've heard so much about him. This is my first time really engaging with him, so it's been a delight as well. This one says, good morning, I'm loving the show and this is insightful. Plain full. Oh, the plain full are showing themselves strong in the Lord. Register, we're registering you. But we are changing. Says we need to suppress our emotions. It could cause emotional leakage. Negative feelings can show up in unexpected places when bottled up. Yes. So let's speak to someone for help if we feel there's some things bottled up waiting to explode. And the next time it explodes or the day it explodes, we may mess up a lot of things all around us. This one says, does Reverend have any written books? Good question. I haven't even asked him about that. Reverend?
Yes, I've actually written 18 books. But so what I'm sharing, you have bits and pieces from here and there. They're not together, but at least I'm releasing a new one by next end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are working.
You're going to tell us what the title is?
Yes, we have some of them are just corporate books. So we have the customer service, one on customer service. We have one on goal setting. We have people management coming up soon.
People management.
Yes.
That's
mastering people management in a modern workspace.
Okay.
That is coming up by in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then we have many other funny ones. Living beyond boundaries and systems. Success for abnormal people, working into your financial freedom. Well, some of the titles are not available now, but at least So.
Wow. A lot to choose from Reverend. Reverend, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
For coming through. It's When You Love. Donnie, Yolanda, Cece.